Hello, and welcome to the 48th season of Supernatural. We're a pair of brooding brothers who wear plaid and fight ghosts with salt.
Salt.
Yeah, that's our show.
Yes, because we're wearing so much plaid. Or as you called it, which I really enjoy, welcome to Master Plaid Theater.
Master Plaid Theater.
Yes, with the Brooding Brothers.
With the Brooding Brothers.
So, what are we talking about today?
Well, should we actually say the real title of the show?
Yes.
So we don't get
What is
sued?
the real title of the show? Of our show? Oh, right. The Klaire and Aaron Show. Welcome to the Klaire and Aaron Show.
Down here or up here?
Wherever.
Okay. So welcome to the Klaire and Aaron Show. And today we're going to discuss some artwork that we have made and is currently on display at the Washington Pavilion in Sioux Falls,
South Dakota.
South Dakota.
Yes, it is in South Dakota.
Not to be confused with Sioux Falls, Hawaii.
I don't know, Manitoba, perhaps. I don't know. I could see them having a Sioux. But anyways, So we have work up in Sioux Falls, and not just our work. It's actually kind of a family show.
Well, you and I are a family.
Yes, we are. But then also my mother and my sister.
So how about we talk about what they have up? And if we feel like we haven't been talking enough because, I love being the center of attention, then we can talk about our own work.
I suppose, yeah. So my mother, Phyllis W. Packard, who is a fiber artist, a weaver.
She's warped.
She's very warped.
That's a weaving joke.
It is. And if you didn't like that, you can just weft on out of here.
Our humor is really becoming unraveled.
Yes.
Shall you tell the yarn of your
Yep,
mother's?
we'll spin it up from here. Anyways, okay, no, but she has some tapestries. Up there that are more landscape, kind of some moonscapes, things like that she's been doing in this past year. So really nice stuff. Check that out.
It's very contemporary tapestry too.
Yes.
Before I met your mom, who is awesome, by the way, when I would think of tapestries, I would think of, like the unicorn tapestries of medieval things that the Pope hangs up in this house. But your mother is known for her landscape, or like her plein air tapestries.
Yes.
Which is very unusual.
Yes. I mean, she basically kind of does the plein air sort of style. I mean, sometimes it's from photographs, but sometimes it's just she's weaving what's outside her windows, and plus she has a fantastic view from her windows in her house. So
absolutely does. So the yarn she's using too, some of it is hand dyed.
Yes, there's hand dyed, there's hand spun. She uses a whole mixture of stuff that she's spun and dyed with natural dyes and such, to other things that she's pulled in of more synthetic fibers and sometimes other objects and things that she'll pull into it, and has all sorts of fun.
She's been adding like this mixed media kind of weaving.
Yes.
So I highly recommend, go see our show, but pay close attention to the tapestry. See how much work is put in. So it's not only creating a composition, but she's creating the material for the composition, and she's literally weaving it together. And they're very colorful too.
Yes, they are.
And one thing after the show was hung that stood out to me is how, even though everyone's work is very different and unique, the color schemes kind of blended together or complemented each other.
Yes. No, actually, it turned out really, we didn't really do that
intentionally.
No, because we were, there was a whole thought with this show of us kind of doing maybe some work that was really playing off of each other. But then
we have a pandemic.
The pandemic hit and all of that, and we all just kind of were working on our own. So, but it is really amazing how a lot of the color schemes and just the balances throughout the show, color-wise, just are really kind of cool.
Another thing that seems like a commonality between everyone's work is the meticulousness.
Oh, yes.
Which I think would be a good transition into your sister Ahna's work.
Yes. So she is a set designer by trade and such, but does painting because there's a lot of painting that goes on in set design.
Yes.
But she's been, in the last few years, working with doing paintings of mechanical objects. And you kind of, what do you kind of have a thing about that?
I think they're secret robot portraits.
Yes.
I haven't discussed this with her, but I
guess you brought it up now.
I do love robots. They're fun.
You do. But she plays with a lot of using color and sort of abstracting perhaps the forms just through the color.
Yeah.
But then also it's a very almost photorealistic kind of painting at the same time.
Yeah, the paintings are very, as I said, meticulous. The details are there. Everything lines up. And some of her paintings, she has these 3 vertical paintings where there's an abstracted figure in them. And when I first saw them, I thought they were a multiple layer silk screen with how much time and effort went into it. And then with the color choices, she's doing acrylic on canvas, so they're very vibrant. So think of like Fauvist colors, where it's just wild and it's just so controlled. It's a nice conflict. And once again, go check out some paintings.
Yeah, check out some paintings. And also paintings are your paintings.
Yeah.
There.
I've made a couple paintings.
You have. You've been quite the painter of a prolific nature in these past...
this past year.
Yeah.
Because I've been working as a painter full time, which is exciting, and I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. Now, I have my series of Brodalisque paintings are on display, and it's a parody and a critique with art history with the Orientalist Brodalisque. This could be in a whole episode on its own.
Yeah,
later.
It could be. We shouldn't really dwell on too much, otherwise this will go on forever.
The short version of this is I paint men in man caves, but I put them in passive poses of how women are traditionally portrayed in Western academic art. Or as you like to say it, I paint you like my French women.
Yes, and you might notice that I am the majority model.
Yeah.
Probably in this series because, again, we're in a pandemic.
Right. I actually completed 2 of them before the pandemic started, and I had one I was working on at the start of it and another one, and then after that I don't go in people's houses. I'm very cognizant of being healthy and just trying to stop the spread, and so almost all those paintings have you in it.
Yep.
So the show is actually going to be called 75% Packard, 25% Lockheart, but if we do who's in the images, it might be more Packard.
Perhaps. I don't know. Maybe.
But you're my favorite model.
Oh, thank you.
Because you're so handsome.
Oh, you're wonderful.
You're fun to paint, but a lot of meticulousness there.
Yes.
Now, the pandemic has infected my art. That's not what I meant to say. I was going to say influence and affected at the same time, and it came out wrong.
Yes.
It's influenced my work, which is why you are the model in almost all of my work. And it's also influenced this new series you have on display.
Yes, which is the Epically Masked series, which we've talked about before. So, a good 10 of those images are up there on display.
Yeah, and so you did all of those outside, and you're showing people in South Dakota wearing their masks, and you portray them in a very heroic, epic way.
Yeah, and it's playing with the ideas of perhaps using the idea of propaganda in the service of good. I mean, a lot of times we think of propaganda as being kind of a nefarious, maybe evil thing, but really it's advertising. And advertising is propaganda.
With the greater concept of art too, I feel art has to have a message, it has to have a meaning. Otherwise it's just decoration.
Yes.
And so this big series of photographs that you've created is definitely in the realm of art. It's not just decoration.
Yes. And that's its purpose is to go in that direction as opposed to just being just portraits.
Yeah.
It's
and there's nothing wrong with that, but when you're doing a big, epic art show with your whole family, and everyone apparently is outdoing each other and at the top of their game. The bar is set pretty high.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been interesting to perhaps go on with some of my abstracted images type series, but I think just for our time that we're in now, it just made sense to do this work.
It's very timely, and part of that tangent where I was talking about how everyone is very skilled at what they do and they're hardworking, and I was joking earlier today about someone had commented that you have a very talented and artistic family, and so I joked that I had to submit my CV for approval when we started dating because but you're very intelligent and hardworking and creative, and you produce all this amazing work.
Well, what about you?
But I'm excited that I get to be part of this.
Well, I'm excited I get to be part and be with you.
Oh.
So.
And we have 2 collaborative pieces in that exhibition as well.
We do. We made a few prints of the Thunderdomesticity images that we kind of finished the show with on the back wall, and and those are sort of somewhat, you might say, in progress, and so we decided not to frame them and just to have them on the wall, almost like posters or something.
Well, also I like that because of the large poster size.
Yes.
Because they kind of look like posters for a movie that doesn't exist.
Right.
But one thing that I found interesting with the layout, and if you're able to go see it in person, check this out. But when you go in, it leads up to the Thunderdomesticity, so the Athena and Furs portrait. But then when you turn around and leave, the last 2 images are of the Epically masked with the children and families.
Yes.
So it's an interesting flux.
Yeah, it is.
Which, if you're in the Sioux Falls area and able to, I recommend going. It's a very big gallery, so it's spaced out. As of right now, you do need to wear a mask, but that's just a good thing to do anyway.
And at some point, too, we will be putting a little 360 tour of kind of a virtual reality version of it up online. So there you go, and I hope the camera didn't just shut off.
Well, if the camera didn't shut off and we're still talking,
yes.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time on the Klaire and Aaron Show.
Thank you very much.